right. Well, hopefully you guys can hear me, so I'm just going to jump right in. And happy holidays, guys. Wow, time has flown so fast, hasn't it? Although it's just linear time. But anyways, happy holidays. And if you're new here for the very first time on my channel, then a very warm welcome to you as well. All right, I'm going to get started. So the Garden of Eden and how we are returning back to it. Paradise Eden. All right. So what I want to talk to you guys about is where we are in terms of ascension journey or process. We are ascending out of harmonic universe 1. So harmonic universe 1 is like the first, second, and third dimension. Okay. The 3D matrix paradigm is what it is. We are ascending back to 5D and above. So this is what is happening on planet Earth at the moment. Our planet is ascending into the next level. And so not all will be ascending along with our planet. There's going to be a form of descension, right? And yes, there is descension going on as I speak. All right. There are going to be those that that choose not to ascend, and that is free will, and that is their right to choose whether they would like to ascend to back to the 5th dimension or whether they'd like to just stay put. And some have, you know, they want to just stay put. All right. Okay, so remember, guys, you'll have learnt that some will not ascend to the 5th dimension, and that is their free will and choice. Many will remain where they are and descend further down in the fall of grace. This is a drop in frequency vibration. It has nothing to do with gravity or anything. So to explain it better is that when we ascend, it's got nothing to do with someone just floating, right, in the air physically. It is a frequency vibration. So you're ascending, right in here, you're ascending in frequency vibration, all right, back into the 5th dimension. All right, so yeah. And so some are going to go into a black fall status, and this is what's happening because of ascension cycle. And so if you're on an ascension path, you're going to go back to 5D and above. This is what Eden is all about, guys. This is what the now we're not talking about in terms of a garden of Eden. You know, we don't want to get that image of a garden. But what it is that we're going back to our original glory of what we were before we came down into the 3rd dimension, which is separation. All right. And so that's what it's all about. It is ascending to our original status, which was the 12th strand, all right, DNA. This is when we were superhuman. And these strands were all active. But as soon as we had descended from the 5th dimension into the 3rd, our DNA deactivated as soon as we fell in energy frequency vibration. This caused the 12-strand DNA to deactivate, and only having the use of DNA strands 2 and 3 operating. All right, so I'm just going to elaborate on that a little bit more, because when we came down into the 3rd dimension, which is harmonic universe 1, before we descended into harmonic universe 1, which is the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd dimension, we were in the higher dimensions. We were like in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and above dimensions. And that is where 12 strands of DNA is active, all right? But as soon as we descended into the 3rd dimension, then those 12 strands of DNA are now disabled or deactivated. So as soon as you come and drop into the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd dimension, all those 12 strands of DNA that you had activated or that were, that were functional, okay, is the word, there are other words for it, was active. But as soon as you drop down in descension, if you descended all the way down into the 1st, 2nd, 3rd dimension, then those 12 strands are going to be deactivated, and you're only going to operate on 2 strands or even 3. Some maybe 6 strands of DNA. But yes, now you see where coming into the 3rd dimension, the first harmonic universe 1 is where the deactivation of those 12 strands of DNA are. So in order to activate the 12 strands DNA, we need to ascend back into the 5th dimension and above. Okay? All right, so I just wanted to explain that one. All right, and like I said before, it's got nothing to do with floating or anything or gravity or anything like that, but it's all to do with frequency vibration. All right, so you're just raising your frequency vibration into higher dimensions or ascending into that harmonic universe 2. Okay. So also be aware that those in control of the lower dimensions, all right, in the first harmonic universe dimensions 1, 2, and 3, they created fear by programming the masses with using things like television, false education, deception, and to keep us in that low negative vibration. They may have even added fluoride and chlorine to our water. And what are we doing with that fluoride and chlorine that is in our tap water? We're adding that to our foods and consuming more of it. All right. So that's going to bring us also down into this low vibration frequency. So we want to, always do a bit of a detox, cleansing, clearing, and just going healthy, drinking lots of fresh and clean water. All right, so DNA to only operate in 2 strands or 3 strands, and that's what happens. Okay. And so with the activation of our 12th strand is the superhuman upon ascending back into the 5th dimension and above. And as you work on your ascending to higher and higher frequency vibration, you begin to activate more and more strands of your DNA that is available to you, like 48 strands, all right, which is beyond super powerful. And to get into that place of 48 strands, you would have to go into harmonic universe 3 and 4 now. That is just like super powerful. So when you ascend into harmonic universe 3, 4, and above, then that's where the activation of more DNA strands can take place. All right. So, which is beyond, super powerful. This is what the ascension cycle is all about. There is a lot happening on the planet, and because we are shifting into a new age and splitting off from a lower 3-dimensional paradigm. And that is what ascension is. It is a shift in our bodies from a 3D or 3rd dimension harmonic, carbon base to a 5D crystalline base, ascending back to our original status. And so this is what we are doing. So much inner work, grounding, purging of the old paradigm. All right. And this is the process. So, okay, most of humanity are ascending, and there's a lot of people that have chosen to ascend, and there is a lot of people that have chosen not to. It is free will, like I said before, it is free will, and everyone has a choice whether they would like to ascend back to the original garden or Eden, Paradise Eden, or if they choose to stay where they're at on this ascension soul journey. All right, we are on the ascension cycle. This is what ascension is now. And so there are some that had experienced the awakening as early as in the 50s and 60s. When, if you've ever listened to some of Dolores Cannon's videos, and she talks about the 3 waves of volunteers, most of the first wavers are in that 50s and 60s, and the second wave is kind of like 70s, 80s, and then all the rest of them thereafter. Okay, so that is Dolores Cannon when she talks about the 3 waves of volunteers. Okay, and so on the soul journey path for a few decades. However, the ascension cycle of the planet started in 2012, and we are being catapulted forward. And now the gates of this process has opened for humanity to work on ascending back to our glorious superhuman state. All right. So we're going back into that superhuman state of the 12 strands being activated. And we can only do this, guys, when we are ascending. Okay. When we ascend into the higher dimensions, like the 5th, 6th, 7th dimension. All right. You are activating those DNA, maybe 12 strands to 48 strands when you go into harmonic universe 2 to 3. So you've got to be up in there. All right. You're not going to activate them in the first harmonic universe, which is the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd dimension. So you've got to really work on, inner work, purging, shadow work, meditation, all right, exercise, eating right, eating clean, drinking clean water, and all that kind of thing. All right. Okay. All right. And so this is the shifting of the body into ascending. You could say that we are actually returning what we term as the Garden of Eden. So remember, it's just a label, all right? But we're going back into our original blueprint, our original glory, and we're also helping the planet on this ascension as well as she is helping us, and she's taking us with her as well. And so this is what is going on, and into this ascension, it's going back to the 5th dimension and above. And so, like I said, there will be a descension and an ascension happening all at the same time. All right. So the process is to move back into that Eden-like form, into our glorious state before we even descended into the 3rd dimension, before we just, came down in frequency vibration, because that's what it is. Nothing to do with gravity, nothing to do with floating or anything. It's just all frequency vibration, energy. All right. So if you're on the ascension path, you're shifting back into your original blueprint. Before your soul fragmented, or before we had fragmentation, we're making our way back to our original status before the fall or descension to a much lower status called 3D carbon-based body. All right. Surprisingly, some of us participated in the fall in other lifetimes, and some of us have that karmic to purge. But also, to be clear, every one of us has a different DNA level, because some of us have higher strands of DNA, while some of us have 12 strands activating. And so it also depends on where you're from, and you could have just normal DNA, right? You just could be just normal DNA. And yeah. There are a few that may process as much as higher strands, and it can all depend on what your DNA is holding for you. So this is all accelerating now due to the shift in our body in this ascension cycle. Now, here's an interesting fact, okay, is that the sun is also coming into its end cycle, according to some spiritual teachers, and at the moment, it's actually releasing a lot of CMEs. And that is what's happening to the sun. And so the role of the sun during this ascension cycle is that it is activating our dormant DNA. That's why we're receiving loads of CMEs, and is another part of the ascension. And so, you know, I think I've said in my videos before, getting plenty of sunlight, all right? So you're just going out in nature, maybe going for a bit of a walk or something like that. Make sure you get plenty of sunlight and bring all that beautiful energy in, because it's also helping with your ascension, okay? To ascending back into 5th, 6th, 7th dimension, or harmonic universe 2. So that's what we're doing right here, is like the frequency, vibration, the energy, all right? You get all that sun coming in, and it's going to help you on your ascension path into ascending. If that is what you know, if you're on that ascension path as well. So many will feel ascension symptoms in the past couple of years, because the sun is also getting more and more intense. And according to research, the year or the following year, it will peak. It's going to be very intense in terms of the CME's plasma light that's coming in on the planet. So I don't like to put dates on things, and I don't actually really go according to calendar and things like that. I've always been one that, well, not always, but since my journey with ascension, I've come to realize that we live in the present, all right? We live in the now. We don't live our lives anymore according to dates, times, or months, years, whatever, all right? So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. All right. So that is also what is happening too. So in the coming year, according to the calendar, sort of like third dimension calendar, is that in the year 2024, the CMEs are going to be even more intense. So there's going to be a whole lot more energy coming in, and there's going to be some symptoms that you might be experiencing. All right. But yeah, I just advise you guys, when that does happen, you know, be gentle and kind with yourself, and just take things a little easy. I mean, you could have a real not so great day when that happens, or you could have a really positive outcome, which is what we all kind of like going for. All right. It will be high radiation, and so it's going to affect you in a negative way or in a positive way, and it's going to upgrade you. So you're going through an upgrade. The sun is activating a lot of things that were dormant, like bacteria, etc. All right. The sun is actually activating that, and this is what the ascension cycle is also. And so this ascension cycle is to do with our planet as well, as she ascends to her original glory. And I think that also in my recent video, I shared that we also help her to ascend. All right, so we help her to ascend back to her original glory and beautiful state, and also helping her to heal. So as well as she takes us with her, we take her with us as well, and we heal all those parts of her, like through chakras and things like that. All right, so and it's like also what I mentioned in my recent video is that the counterpart, the equal, when they come together, they work on raising their frequency vibration to an even higher state by bringing in more light, and that also helps our planet also to bring her back to her original state and glory. Garden of Eden, you could say. All right. And so the cycle that we've been in, she also, takes us along with her. The cycle that we've been in on our planet, what is coming in to an end and is evolving. So it's actually all interconnected, and what we're doing here is all related. All right. Many of us are here on a mission that we've done before, whatever it might have been. It could have been to teach these truths, or could have been anchor your light, or doing grid work, or doing crystal work. It could have been Reiki healing. It could have been sound healing with bowls, right? Anything like that. And so this mission to reunite your soul, to return back from the fragmented state that you've been in for a very long time. And so that what we're here to do, whatever your calling or mission is, that is your purpose or your mission that you came here to do. So if you are passionate about crystal work, or that is what your mission is, if you're passionate about meditation and having meditation sessions, then that's where you're at. If you have passion for just healing others, and you have that beautiful gift to be able to heal others and send them healing energy like Reiki healing, then that is really awesome. So whatever your passion is, that's where you're at in your ascension and your mission. All right, so embrace it. Okay, really embrace it. Whatever your passion is, just really embrace it. All right, and it's to help others as well. All right, because that puts you into something like 50% of service to others, and it's awesome. All right, so we are here coming back to unity consciousness, reconnecting back to source, because we have been separated from source because of the fall from grace, from higher status or Eden. Our consciousness had fragmented, and we have been reincarnating, and now it's time to ascend back home to our higher states of consciousness, glory, and status. All right. So we have much work to do to reach this level of ascension, to return to the Eden, or to our glorious state, or in the fifth dimension consciousness. You're elevating out of the 3D separation. So to explain it even more, like the 3D separation, right? So when we descended down into 3D, which is the harmonic universe 1. So when we came down into that was separation consciousness. And raising up into the fifth dimension, unity consciousness, is what we go back to our original state, as I mentioned before. And so when you're shifting from that 3D state, which is separation, it means that you're now beginning to rise up out of that, out of what has been, or what we can now see as being in a state of illusion, to what is real and what is truth. So you're rising up out of that illusional state that you were in as soon as you dropped into 3D, right? And frequency vibration, you drop down in energy, and that brings you sort of like below that line of, how do we say, of ascending into the second harmonic universe too, right? Fifth, sixth, seventh dimension or above, okay? So in the 3D matrix, yeah, it is separation. It is a trap. It is control. It is story. It is programming. It is greed. It is manipulation. It is karmic. It is deception. There is power. There is chaos. There is sickness and dis-ease. All right. Conditioned love. Okay. Service to self. And all this creates the low and dense vibration. So when we're in that 3D, and we drop down in the vibration frequency, we drop down in energy, we now sort of like come into that place where we're in separation consciousness. In the 3D matrix, it's like you are trapped in a, believing that all of your stories are you, all of your personality, your programming, everything that that goes on in the 3D matrix, or that goes on in the 3D, right? So you're living a life of illusion, because you're believing that the life that you're living in the 3D matrix is your life, right? I made a video. You can go and watch that video about you are not your mind, all right? And so all that coming into that place of the 3D matrix is just that drop in frequency vibration, is drop in that energy, all right? All right, but let's move on anyway. Okay, so that list is what so many of us were programmed, just as I was saying. And right from birth or childhood. So yeah, just to mention that as well. So you kind of like in this program where you're programmed at childhood or right from birth, and you start to live that life that you believe that is your true identity. And I call it the identity entity, because it's not who you really are. You are Christ consciousness, you are consciousness, you are soul, all right? And so, yeah, many people will have a hard time letting go of the story that they created, of their lives, of their identity entity. They're going to have a hard time of letting that go, because that's all they knew. That's all they know, all right? And because it's all that they know, it's an identity entity, meaning that whom they've believed their whole lives to be is who they are. So that's all they know, right? It is their comfort zone. It is their story, the only story they've created about themselves, that they already know to be their truth, of whom they believe they are. So when you get into that place of coming into 3D matrix and believing your stories, your programs, because many of us we'd all been programmed right from the beginning. And a lot of us are still going through those programs and haven't even unplugged from those programs just yet. But that's what the awakening is also, It is an awakening, and you're snapping out of your programming, all right? It's like unplug from your programming, snap out of your programming, and that's part of that is what the awakening is that when you start to come into a realization, well, hey, something's not right here. And then you go on a quest to research what it is and what is going on, until you actually find other people that you resonate, and other people that can actually help and guide you on your path, new path of awakening, right? All right. And so when we are awakened, and so when an awakened starseed light worker comes along and shows a person that their story is an illusion and that it's not who they really are, they immediately resist. They resist everything, right? They resist everything that you're talking about, everything that you're showing them. You're trying to wake them up. You're trying to talk to your family. You're trying to talk to your friends, and they're just not getting it. And because it may not yet be their time to be awakened to that truth and realization. Their time is coming, but if they don't get it the first time, that's okay. All right? We all have different times when we experience our awakening. So, yeah, try not to force it on anybody, all right, because they just resist even harder and then think you're just a little bit cuckoo and crazy, which we're not, because it's our truth and our normal, right? All right. And so the return to our original blueprint is what we are ascending back to, that glorious state of Eden. It's the shift in the body back to our most divine creation. So we're elevating from the old paradigm 3D consciousness to embody a higher consciousness, which is the fifth dimension and above. We are elevating or rising in frequency vibration. It is all about energy, guys. So try not to look at it from what we term as something floating or going up and up and up. It is just frequency vibration that we are sending in energy of these avatars in these bodies, all right? And so what you'll also notice is that we'll experience ascension symptoms. You'll feel physical changes on so many levels. You'll be activated, and you'll go through a purge of old programs of the old life or carbon-based body to ascending into a crystalline 5D body of your original Eden. All right. So this is you're coming back into alignment with Source, God, your Christ consciousness, glory. And you keep rising higher and higher into a glorious state to harmonic universe 3, 4, and 5. All right. So leaving the 3D matrix, which is the harmonic universe 1, and with that is experiencing the ego death. So we do go through an ego death. It's just a breaking away of old programs and breaking away and snapping out of that programming that we went through in these vessels, in these bodies. Okay. Basically brainwashing is what it is. I mean, let's just be real here, okay, guys? Brainwashing. And experiencing ego death, or what we term as the dark night of the soul, a breaking away of 3D matrix programming system, the personalities, the stories, the identity, entity, okay, and the false self created at birth and through your life on planet Earth. So the moment you incarnate to the vessel, the body work begins so as to keep you from ascending to higher frequency vibration. Now, I just want to touch a little bit further on that, because that is what's happening as well. As soon as you came and as soon as you descended right down into the third dimension, and that is where the masses can be controlled. A lot of them can come under the control of the dark forces, the dark hats, right? Because you've come down in frequency, energy, vibration. You're now in a place where they have control of being able to keep you there, all right? Keep you descended down into that third dimension. So they're using things like fear, all right? Putting fear across the news, or maybe you're watching movies that, like horror movies, that are going to put you into a low vibration and keep you stuck in that third dimension, okay? Fluoride in the water and in the food, junk food, anything that you would put into your body and things like that, they are creating everything to keep you from ascending, all right? Having you believe that the show that you're watching is the real show, is the real, your reality, okay? They want you to believe that your reality in the third dimension is it, and there's nothing else, right? And now we can see right through the BS, and we can see that it's all just a, smoke screen, all right? You can just rip those curtains out of the window and bring in that light. It's kind of like Alice from Wonderland, where she went to push the curtain back and she could see just a little man controlling everything. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. All right. And so the moment you incarnate into the vessel, the body, the work all begins. And so when you embody your higher self, your monad, it is because you've let go of the ego personalities, stories, and have come into your higher self, your monad. All right. And so it is a process of an ego death of it's like a jackhammer. All right. What does a jackhammer do to the concrete? It just smashes it all to pieces, right? And so when we go through an ego death, we are smashing away all of the programs, stories, personalities, all the false narratives and everything that was created here for us to believe that that's who we are when it wasn't. All right. And we started to believe those stories. We started to believe that, oh my gosh, that is me. That is my identity. That is my culture. That is my family. That is my... But what we didn't know is that when we incarnated into these bodies at birth, we were fully aware and awake. We just didn't have a voice to be able to say, hey, why are you calling me by that name? All right. Anyway, moving on. Getting off topic, sorry. And so, yeah, like a jackhammer, it just breaks away all that 3D matrix programs. This doesn't mean you are leaving your personality. It just means that as you ascend, you embody a much higher intellectual way of thinking. So the renewed mind, or when you go into the fifth dimension and above, is like you're renewing your mind, but your mind is your heart, right? You drop down into your heart. Your heart is like your place where you feel, you think, you know. All right. So you feel everything here, you know everything here, and that is your truth. Okay. So it's a renewal of your mind, but not up here in your head, but down here in your heart. Okay. So the lower three stations of your identity had kept us stuck in that paradigm for so long, and we were not able to actually ascend because we were trapped in that lower three-dimensional identity. And the device design was supposed to ascend to the octave, okay? And yeah, the thing is that we were not able to do this because of alien imprints from the negative alien agenda. And yeah, there is that as well, the negative alien agendas, all right, with implants and things like that. So, it's something that's in the 3D matrix that we are not aware that we have these implants. But I will save that for another video and we'll talk more on that one. But yeah, for now, I'll just mention that about that. And maybe I'll talk more about negative alien agendas and things like that as well. It's meant to be all natural for us to return to our fine blueprint, but it's been anything but, right? So this is what the shift is. it is in the process of coming back into our hearts. That's what we're going back to. However, right now, we are in the process of moving faster in this ascension, and moving very fast because of decades ago we were never had the same support to move forward in ascension. But now we have a lot of support that has fast forwarded everything. All right. The CMEs are coming in fast, forwarding and everything. So everything is sped up a lot quicker, and it's all accelerating. So while going through this process, you're not in time anymore. You're not controlled by time, and because time is linear, right? And you are reversing in time. You are reversing in age. Everything is changing, and your body is shifting, and you are ascending. All right. And so a lot of ascension symptoms you're going to be feeling, and a lot of it is just breaking away of old paradigms. Okay. So that is all I have for you today. And but yeah, so that's what the ascension is all about as well, is that we're just ascending back to our original Eden and our most beautiful glory. But yeah, and the thing is too is that when we go back into the fifth dimension, harmonic universe, 2, 3, and above, that is where our activations of our 12 strand DNA kicks in, right? It's because we start to ascend in frequency, energy, vibration. We start to ascend back into harmonic universe 2, 3, and above. The fourth, fifth, or like the sixth dimension and above, right? And so we need to ascend out of the third dimension and to the fourth and even higher in order for that 12 strand of DNA to activate again. Because once it came down into harmonic universe 1, which is dimensions 1, 2, 3, that is where that 12 strand of DNA became inactive and was not activated. You're only coming on like 2 strands or even 3 strands. All right. All right, so I hope that resonated for you guys. And if you haven't already, please rock that like and subscribe for you, girl. Please drop some comments down below. Let me know your thoughts, and also hit that notification bell so that you get a notification of another video coming up next time. All right, so for now, happy holidays, and thank you for being here. I really appreciate all of your support. And as I've said before, welcome to all those that are new here, and to all my subscribers, thank you for your support always. All right, guys, I love you all. So happy holidays, be safe and stay healthy. And yeah, we'll see you on the next live, okay? All right. Bye, everyone. Love you guys. All right. Bye.